Oh, don't get me started with the word concurrently. I hate that word concurrently, especially when you have a person that has committed several heinous crimes, unaliving, forcing themselves onto the victims. Then they rob them, and then they go after family members that may have taken a stand and testified against this person, intimidation, you name it. And then they go through the trial process. Then they are found guilty, and then it's sentencing time, and then you hear the judge read out all the counts of criminality that they have committed against the victim, who's either, well, in most cases, they'll be unalived because they did not want them to be, witnesses type of situation. And so you hear that count one, 15 years, count two, 15 years, count three, 10 years, count four, maybe 7 years, count five, 2 years. And then you are thinking, oh, goodness gracious, finally, Clancy's, finally the families that have lost a loved one through a heinous crime or crimes committed against them, they are going to be put out, into that system called jail for the rest of their lives. And then the judge comes and says, as they conclude their judgment, in fact, their sentencing, and they say, they are going to serve these sentences concurrently. Concurrently. And you are thinking, listen, judge, this is South Africa, for crying out loud. This individual has some rights. And one of those rights is that if he has served 2/3 majority of this concurrent, so that means this person is going for 15 years. Let's forget the other counts with 15 years, another count for 10 years, another count for 2 years. They fall within the concurrent, and it's 15 years more on the dot. You know what I want to hear in a judgment? Yes, they are going to serve these sentences consecutively. What does that mean? If they're done with the first 15 years, another 15 years is waiting. When they are done with the second 15 years, the 10 years is still coming. And when they are done with the 10 years, they're going to the 2 years. That way, we're not going to have this individual on the streets ever again, versus when he's going to serve the sentence for 15 years and then on good behavior around year 9. Around year 9, this person is free on the streets. I hate that, Clancy. I don't know how we can change. How can we eradicate this concurrently? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, I know you think like me. Anyways, let's get to the video of today. I just thought, let me just voice out my frustration with this concurrently. Concurrently. When there are so many charges, with each of them, they're assigned their own term in prison. But no, they're going to run concurrently. If it's 2 years concurrently with the 15, 20, so that person's going to be there for, no, I do not like it. And I don't think any South African should. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because I'm a little bit frustrated about this concurrently. Concurrently. I'm not to you, Clancy. No, sorry. Clancy is my producer, so he's like, "Why are you attacking me?" And I'm not attacking you. Anyways, let's talk about what's his name again? Julius Mkwanas. Okay, let's stop being childish. I'm trying, guys. Listen. What was my prediction again? What was my prediction? Didn't I say it's happening this weekend? Nah, I told y'all. Just like I told you about Sergeant Kosi. The Sergeant Kosi is going to stand down from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry hot seat straight to the magistrate dock. Did that not happen? It did. It did. And then I said the same thing about Julius Mkwanas, that this weekend he is going to be in handcuffs and he's going to well, await his first appearance on Monday, which is going to be exciting. But then again, you must also remember, guys, that when the 6th of July happened, Ntlantla Mkhwanazi mentioned a person that does as they please at Ekurhuleni by the name of Julius Mkhwanazi. And now Ntlantla Mkhwanazi appointed as the project manager at national level for people like Julius Mkhwanazi. What did you think was going to happen this weekend? Of course, you were going to get him in handcuffs. His worst nightmare. Remember the last time that he was at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry? He was like, Commissioner, I don't want to say something. I've got small children. I don't want to go to jail. And everybody was telling him, sir, you are actually going to jail. So now, this week, Julius Mkhwanazi spent about how many days on the stand? He spent several days, maybe let's say 3 days on the stand. And he got challenged by something that I think the criminal case is going to reveal this, a possible identity theft. Now, this possible identity theft can come in two ways, in my opinion. He could be a South African, but he was born at home. And you know, most South African black kids that are born at home, their parents don't necessarily go to the clinic and register them and get them birth certificates. They sort of just leave them like that. One case in point is Zwelinzima Vavi. Zwelinzima Vavi was born at home. His mom did not go and get him a birth certificate. He grew older and realized that as I am adulting, I cannot go through anything administratively without a birth certificate, especially an ID. So now, because his mom is uneducated, he was a kid when he was born, he knew nothing. So when he had to get his birth certificate, they had to guess the year. They had to guess when he was born in 1960 or in 1970 something. I think they chose 60 or something like that. So things like that do happen. So let's say his situation is like that of Zwelinzima Vavi. But instead of taking the route that Zwelinzima Vavi took, well, I think with Zwelinzima Vavi, it was advantageous because he was already in a political party. Well, okay, they were in a tripartite with the ANC and the ANC is in charge. So yeah, just like with degrees of some of them, they never sat in a lecture hall. But they have degrees. I almost mentioned names. They have degrees. So same thing like that happened to Zwelinzima Vavi. And then with the Julius Mkhwanazi, whom, by the way, tried to convince us over and over and over and over again that he is a struggle hero. No, I'm not making it up. He's the one who would say he was a struggle hero. but then... Okay, fine. Why didn't he then do what Zwelinzima Vavi did? So he thought, okay, instead of taking that route of Zwelinzima Vavi, I think the person's identity that he has, I think they were quite specific about it. I think either the real birth certificate owner died at infancy, but they said to the doctor, nurses, and everybody, do not register that baby as dead. Give us his birth certificate. That's how I think how it all turned out. But the problem is all of this is happening in 1994. So I think part of the charges might be that. I think, I'm not saying it is, I think one of the charges is going to be identity theft. But now when we look at what happened or what transpired the second time around that he came to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and it's making perfect sense why he was avoiding coming to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. First, he had eye problems. He came with glasses, and then he said, I'm only going to recover around the 21st of April. So I would like to come back around the 21st of March, not April, 21st of March. And then came the 20th of March, he came and said, oh, I lost my mom, so I can't be here. Well, sympathetically and with humanitarianism, of course, what do? You postpone until he appears again on the 14th of April. And then when he gets here on the 14th of April, the evidence leader is in chaff. She is not happy because he wasted the commissioner's time and our time when he came and he reported the death of his mother. And then as I was listening to this whole saga about how he misled the commission about his mother, finding out that she is actually 10 years older than him. And then his other brother she would have been 8 years old giving birth to, yay. And then he was like, this stuff now is getting more insensitive. It's touching me and I don't want this in the public eye. You don't want us to hear that you might not be South African. So that's the other second part. It's either he's not a South African and somebody stole a South African person's identity in 1994 and gave it to him in 1994 and he's 51 years old. Make the math there. Chai. I tell you every time when he takes a stand, I laugh. So then it came to the testimony where he had to rebut what witness D, which is Marius van der Merwe, said about Julius Mkhwanazi, that there was a night where there was a dead body. Yeah, we're talking about Emmanuel Mbenze. And then Julius Mkhwanazi was called to the scene. And when he was called to the scene, Julius Mkhwanazi said, or he advised that the body either be dumped in an old mine shaft or at the Niger River. Dam, whatever. So making him an accomplice. But now because we were not there, and then Marius van der Merwe said Emmanuel Mbenze was assaulted through tubing. Stuff that they did to Bongani Ntanzi and Moses Sibiya. He was tubed because they wanted the money in cash because he was trafficking fake cigarettes into South Africa. But he said, listen, guys, I can give you money, but the money is not with me. It's at home. And they wanted the money right there. I don't know if they thought the money was going to fly from his home to I don't know. So they tubed him until, unfortunately, he passed on. Marius van der Merwe said he did not participate in the tubing. What he did was he walked away. He just walked away because he did not approve of the tactic that was being used on Emmanuel Mbenze. So now that he was lifeless, what's the plan? So they call Julius Mkhwanazi. Julius Mkhwanazi comes to the scene and he gives instruction that the body either be thrown in a old mine shaft or in the Niger River, and which, of course, somebody needed to take that body. So they assigned Marius van der Merwe. But before all of that, Julius Mkhwanazi was introduced to all the people that were there, the criminals that were there. And part of those are the late Viandre Pretorius, Miss Stalls, and some other people that were mentioned. But yet, Julius Mkhwanazi said when he got there, he saw 9 white people and 1 black person. And then it was brought to his attention that 1 black person was you. He was like, what? No, me? It wasn't me. But then how did you see? Because the first time he said, Yaku Honeycomb, called him at 2 a.m. He drove to the scene, but he parked at the gate. When he realized that this is waste of time, he went back home. Now he comes back again. He was introduced, and there were 9 white guys, and then a black guy. So what the evidence leader had then prayed to the commissioner is that Julius Mkhwanazi's story is so mixed up that he's denying it. And that the commission should strike down his testimony and take that of Marius van der Merwe as the truth. Now, I don't think he realized at that moment that he became an accomplice to murder. I don't think it hit him. It only hit him much, much later that, hang on a minute. That's because now the evidence leader, which is Senior Counsel Sillo, telling him that you are an accomplice and you should be arrested for the crime that you committed. He was like, no, I didn't. That's what he's arrested for. the testimony of Marius van der Merwe, because the commission, now that he's getting arrested, I think they took the what they call the evidence leaders finding that Marius's testimony is truth, because Julius Mkhwanazi, he's not admitting to anything, and yet evidence shows that he was there. Plus, there was an eyewitness in Marius van der Merwe. Not only Marius van der Merwe that puts Julius Mkhwanazi on the crime scene or the murder scene, but also Stolz did in her statement. So my predictions are Julius Mkhwanazi is going to be charged with murder. If it's not with murder, but he will be charged with, what's that one that I love? It sounds so sophisticated. Defeating the ends of justice. I think it might be one of them or both, murder and defeating the ends of justice by taking the body and dumping it in the Niger River. So he's going to prison for a very long time. But it's going to be concurrently. It's going to be concurrently. And of course, not forgetting the crime that he also committed with his rogue unit that he had put together to Rosebank. Or is it Rosebank? I think it was Rosebank. Yeah. Yeah. The Precious Stone one. That was a crime that was committed there. Illegal invasion of somebody's house, and then you steal the precious stones. And then Mackenzie says that there was a car downstairs, he went to it, and in that car, of course, they say there was Julius Mkhwanazi was in that vehicle. Julius Mkhwanazi, he denies that. He says, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. But when it came to Humuto of JMPD and the late Mseleko, I'm also asking, what did Mseleko die of? Because he needed to go so that he does not corroborate the accusation that he was with him on that particular day in Rosebank. People just dropping dead around Julius Mkhwanazi. I wonder why. But on Mkhwanazi, now that they are in the ring, they are going to get to the bottom of this. Definitely they are going to get to the bottom of this. But anyways, before I go, let me read you what the ENCA article says. I think these days I'm relying a lot on ENCA online news articles. So this article was dropped Saturday, the 18th of April, 2026 at 11:24 a.m. And the headlines is Madlanga Commission, Julius Mkhwanazi arrested. I was like, what? Suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department boss Julius Mkhwanazi has been arrested. He faces charges of fraud, corruption, and defeating the ends of justice. You know, I'm actually blind reacting to this article. I didn't read it, by the way. I just saw it, the headlines, and I thought, hey, let's set up and talk about it because I got excited that my prediction came to pass. He previously testified at Parliament's Subs ad hoc committee. Mkhwanazi was arrested on Saturday following his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in previous days. In a statement, National Police spokesperson Brigadier Atlanta Mate said SAP's Madlanga Commission task team has arrested a 50-year-old senior municipal official for fraud, corruption, and defeating and/or obstruction of the ends of justice. That we're talking about the dead body. The official was arrested this morning at his home in Gauteng. The task team is still searching for other suspects linked to the case. These arrests emanate from an ongoing investigation into corruption within the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, EMPD in brackets. No further comment will be provided on the merits of the case at this stage. Oh, we know the merits. All suspects are expected to appear before the Boksburg Magistrates Court on Monday 20th April 2026. The statement reads in part. This is a developing story. So yeah, the clan predicted and it happened. I said this weekend, if not this weekend, in the new week, sometime in the new week. Happened in the weekend. Guys, I say it again. Ntlantla Mkhwanazi and them know exactly where to go to. Who did what, when, and how much, and where the skeletons are. They know. So if you are going to play hide and seek, and when you get to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and lie through your teeth, they've got the evidence. Don't take chances. And the CFO of Tshwane, he took the stand yesterday, and you can tell that he is cornered. Sir, just say, listen, this is what transpired, and tell the truth exactly what transpired, because they are onto you. All the evidence that is being put before you, you cannot refute it. Your relationship with Sergeant Kosi, you cannot refute it. The tenders, El Shaddai, it's clear as daylight that you had an influence. Clear as day. And all the other tenders as well. But your testimony, in fact, cross-examination continues on Monday, and my ears are sharpened. And I'm going to make a prediction. And my prediction is, if he continues lying this Gareth Mnisi, he's going to end up like his friend Sergeant Kosi and Julius Mkhwanazi. Guys, aren't you loving this commission of inquiry? Aren't you loving it? It's so different from all the other ones, because as they work, the criminal justice system comes in place and say, oh, Zala. I love it for us. I love it for us. It's this concurrently that I don't like. Not your clients. No, relax. Every time when I say when I look at him, he goes like, chill. Anyways, guys, I don't know what your thoughts are. What should we predict next? What should we predict next? Oh, I have a big prediction for sure, guys. UCIC akakaqedwa ngaye. I will leave it there. Akakaqedwa ngaye. They're not finished with the CIC yet. That's what I mean. Anyways, I shall leave this video. Please enjoy your Saturday. And Julius Mkhwanazi, the skeletons are coming home to haunt. All right? Have a great day. Goodbye.